This is Matt Allington, and this is my entry into the Data Analytics Challenge. You can see here that I have a slicer on year, and I also have a graphic indicating the proportion of where people are coming from by country. So North America by far is the biggest country with 65% almost of all arrivals. And on the right hand side I've got a table so that it's easy to see the ranking by country as well. The second page I have here is arrival port by country, and on this particular page you're able to see by country where people are actually coming into in Hawaii. I've also got a tree map here showing the top 5 countries. By clicking on this tree map you're able to get a more detailed view of the from to transit here. And of course you can do that by any country as well, just using the country of origin slicer at the top. At the moment it's unfiltered by year, and you can select any particular year, and in fact you can do the reverse. You can pick a particular destination and see where the people are coming from. The next thing I'm going to look at is whether there's been any interesting shifts in what regions visit Hawaii in general. Now this particular visual doesn't allow drill down, but you can see that there's been a big decline in Europe and also Japan. And of course, if you want to look in more detail, it's quite easy to swap out the region with a country. Now, once you find a country that you'd like to look at, let's say Germany, for example, it's possible on this chart to come over and click on Germany and get a much finer detailed view of exactly what's been happening over the period. This chart here shows the visitor days trend by year, and you can see a similar pattern here where we had a peak in 2007 and a decline in 2009. And I also have a trend here by the arrival island. However, once you drill into the data, there is a lower level of detail which is otherwise not visible. If we have a look at the domestic trend, you'll see that the domestic trend pretty much follows the shape of the overall trend. However, if we look at the international trend, you'll see that there actually is a long-term decline from about 1996 down to 2009. There was a table that was available within the source data that had highlights for 2015. I loaded the entire table and put it into this hierarchy slicer so that you could go down and select anything that you want. So here's the total visitors, the number of visitor days, and you can slice by country as well. The next question, what is the purpose of people's visits to Hawaii? I created this dedicated page that talks about the country, where people are coming from. Also on the right hand side I have a table giving the breakdown of their purpose, and you can see the breakdown by month. I've loaded the spending from the same highlights in 2015 file. I have a slicer here where you can switch between spending per day and spending per trip, total expenditure, etc.